How did you learn your child had passed away? I was sitting in my cubicle on the third floor of this boring office building downtown, staring at spreadsheets and thinking about what to make for dinner. Around 2:30, I noticed my phone lighting up with calls. 3 missed calls from Jackson Elementary. I figured my son Tommy forgot his lunch money again or maybe got in trouble for talking too much in class. The kid never stopped talking at home either. I stepped into the hallway to call them back. The secretary's voice sounded weird, shaky. She said there was an incident near the school and all parents needed to come to the community center on Oak Street immediately. When I asked what kind of incident, she just repeated the address and hung up. My hands started sweating. I grabbed my purse and told my supervisor I had a family emergency. The whole drive there, I kept thinking about how Tommy always forgot to look both ways before crossing streets. Maybe he got hit by a car walking to the corner store for chips. The community center parking lot was chaos. Police cars everywhere, ambulances, news vans. Parents were running around screaming their kids' names. I saw Mrs. Garcia from Tommy's class crying into her phone. Inside, they had tables set up with volunteers checking names off lists. I got in line behind this dad who was shaking so bad he could barely hold his ID. The volunteer at my table was this young guy, maybe college age, and he looked like he wanted to throw up. I gave him Tommy's full name, Thomas Mitchell, 4th grade, Mrs. Peterson's class. He flipped through papers, then called over an older woman. She had that look people get when they're about to tell you something terrible. She asked me to follow her to a smaller room. There were folding chairs in a circle and a box of tissues on every surface. That's when I knew. She sat me down and explained that there was a shooting at the park next to Tommy's school. The 4th grade classes were outside for recess when it happened. Some guy with mental problems started firing randomly at people walking by. Tommy had been playing on the monkey bars when it started. The other kids ran toward the school building, but Tommy must have gotten confused and ran the wrong way. Toward the fence, toward the shooter. The woman kept talking, but I stopped hearing words. Something about how brave the teachers were, how they tried to protect everyone, how the police got there fast. But all I could think about was Tommy on those monkey bars. Probably showing off for his friends like he always did. I asked to see him. She said that wasn't possible right now, but they would arrange something later. She handed me a plastic bag with his backpack, the same Pokemon backpack he'd begged me to buy at the start of the school year. The worst part wasn't even that moment. It was driving home and seeing his bike in the driveway, his cereal bowl still in the sink from breakfast. His homework spread out on the kitchen table because he'd insisted on finishing it that morning instead of the night before. I called my sister to come over because I couldn't be alone. When she got there, I was sitting on his bedroom floor holding his stuffed dinosaur, the one he pretended he didn't sleep with anymore because he was too old for stuffed animals. She tried to hug me, but I just kept saying it didn't make sense. He was supposed to come home and complain about math homework. We were supposed to watch that stupid show he liked about kids who turn into superheroes. I had already defrosted chicken for dinner for weeks after. I kept setting the table for 2 people. I'd make too much food and then remember halfway through cooking that he wasn't coming home. The school sent grief counselors and support group information, but I threw it all away. The hardest part was that everyone wanted to help. But helping meant talking about it, and talking about it meant accepting it was real. Neighbors brought casseroles I didn't eat. My boss gave me time off I didn't want. Friends called with condolences that felt like needles. 3 months later, I finally went back to that community center for a memorial service. They had photos of all the victims, and Tommy's school picture was up there with the others. He was smiling with that gap-toothed grin, hair sticking up in the back like always. That's when it hit me that he was really gone. Not sleeping late, not at a friend's house, not hiding in his room playing video games. Gone.